Hello again, everyone. Zach Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight. Groundhog Day, February 2nd, 2015. I made a Raw review in a couple of weeks. I missed the Raw reunion show a few weeks back because I had a gig. Last week I didn't make a review because there wasn't even a real Raw. But tonight was the first real Raw in weeks, and especially the first real Raw in an arena since the Royal Rumble, when Roman Reigns took the victory. And of course, Denver Colorado was the home of Raw tonight. Now, even though Roman Reigns did win the Rumble, he might even get the title shot he most definitely deserved in the match, but the fans aren't ready for him yet, in my opinion, as of course we see. But the title of our subtitle of my review is that Roman Reigns would have to put up his title shot at Fastlane. Now, that would kick off Raw tonight with this major announcement that Triple H teased on SmackDown this past week. I think they had a different plan. I think they were like Roman Reigns came out, they're about to make this announcement. Roman Reigns came out saying that you're going to take my title shot away from me. I think that's what they were trying to do. Legally, they're not able, contractually, not able to just take Roman Reigns out of the title match just like that. They had to manipulate him. I think that's what they're trying to do in the first place, trying to manipulate him to drop the title shot. Then here comes Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan to the fray. And my dad has been making all these weird predictions lately. I've been watching it with my dad. And he's like, Zach, I predicted the Outlaws were going to face the Ascension at the pay-per-view Royal Rumble, which he was right on. He's like, I predict a match at Fastlane when Roman Reigns will have to put his title shot on the line. That is happening. And of course, our main event with Raw would determine who would face Roman Reigns. Like, change the plans. I don't know if they changed their plans on the fly, maybe because of the crowd reaction, because Roman Reigns got booed out the building at Royal Rumble. It wasn't because, I think it's because of a lot of reasons. I've said this in my Royal Rumble review that it was because Daniel Bryan got out too early. I don't think it's because Daniel Bryan didn't win. But I think it was because Reigns won. I like Roman Reigns. He's a decent guy, but he's just not ready yet. He's only been back from injury for like a month, and now he's being promoted to main event of WrestleMania. You know, he had to regain his momentum back from his surgery, his injury. He didn't have enough time to get his momentum fully back to deserve to be in that Royal Rumble match. But now he have to really prove to the fans that he's deserving, as he, like I said, would have to put up the title shot at WrestleMania, for WrestleMania, at Fastlane against either Daniel Bryan or Seth Rollins. One of two great matches during Raw tonight. So again, that's our main event was set for the Raw tonight. For the main event for Fastlane with D-Bryan against Seth Rollins to face Roman Reigns. One of them would face against Reigns at the pay-per-view known as Fastlane. Many people's minds a throwaway pay-per-view, but it's only going to be good just because Sting's going to show up and confront Triple H. Or as I like to call it, the tease for WrestleMania 31 for their match. So, after that announcement, Roman Reigns would have to be in a match, another match against Big Show. Now, I talked to a lot of friends of mine. My friends don't even watch the show anymore because they're sick of the same old shit every week. They're sick of the same guys wrestling once or twice a week. You know, we saw Roman Reigns and Big Show fight on SmackDown, which I think, if I am correct, Roman won that match. And then we would see him fight again. In my opinion, I think Kane and Daniel Bryan put on a better match against Kane than Roman Reigns did with Big Show. Like, Roman Reigns could at least carry the match a little because of Big Show's limitations. But if Daniel Bryan could put on a better match against Kane, they had a good match on Thursday, by the way. It's like, wow. You can't even have him. You can't even have Roman Reigns, your supposed guy. So bang. So there you go. So there you go with that little scenario with Reigns and everything. And this is not the first time that Reigns would have put up a title shot, which I'll get to in a second. About that story. Like I said, Reigns will take on Big Show immediately after that announcement about him putting a shot at WrestleMania on the line at Fastlane. And his match against Big Show was just okay. You know, he did okay against Big Show. Like I said, his limitations and everything. And then Wayne, of course, would have to overcome the distraction as Seth Rollins stayed at ringside along with J&J security. Despite Wayne's best efforts, even trying for a Superman punch at one point, distractions from J&J security and Seth Rollins, with referee distracted, nailed Roman Reigns with the briefcase, setting him up for the chokeslam from Big Show and the 1-2-3 victory for Big Show, pinning Mr. Reigns, and Reigns citing revenge, which he would probably get later on in the evening. Now, going back to the fact that Roman Reigns is putting his title shot on the line. This isn't the first time we've seen a title shot at WrestleMania put on the line at a February pay-per-view. It happened 2 other times. And they both involved Randy Orton. Back in 2006, Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble. And then he had to put up his title shot against Randy Orton in Elimination Chamber's precursor, No Way Out, back in 2006. Ray lost that match. Randy Orton won for a little bit of cheating. But Ray was reinserted in a triple threat match, which he would eventually end up winning the championship. That's one thing they're doing with Reigns, making him risk his title shot and at least try to prove to everybody that he's not just the hand-picked choice, that he deserves to be in that position. He needs better mic work. He's an okay athlete, decent performer, but he's got a lot to prove to the fans that he's not just some hand-picked guy who's shoved down the throats of the fans. At least he got something right. The promo he did last week with Brock Lesnar with the family heritage and stuff, to psych him in, that's what happened too. They psyched him into this decision by psyching him out with the family heritage. They being the authority, influenced him to make the choice, to prove to everybody that he deserves it by putting this shot on the line. Which, like I said, he's doing it Fastlane against either D-Bry or Rollins, which you'll find out later on. Now on to the next situation involving Curtis Axel, who never really was eliminated in the Royal Rumble. He didn't even get in it. He was attacked by Eric Rowan, who wasn't even officially in the matchup. So, and a lot of people in it was like, Curtis Axel should win because he never got eliminated. And that's what Curtis Axel fed off of. The fact that he didn't get really eliminated, but instead of getting anybody to tell me he needs a title shot, a man who I think should also get a title shot when it comes to IC Championship-wise, Dean Ambrose came flying out, attacking while Mr. Axel, and Axel got properly eliminated by being tossed over the top rope. And Dean Ambrose wants to challenge Bad News Barrett to a title shot since he beat him to a non-title match at SmackDown or one other event. That would be interesting to see Dean Ambrose against Bad News Barrett. You know what I mean? I would love to see that match. And it's for the IC Championship. Maybe it will happen at Fastlane. Seeds are planning for that. And after Ambrose made his intentions known, he delivered the dirty deeds to Curtis Axel after he tried to attack him again following that promo. Now, before we get to the next match, going back to the Authority, I'll at least give the Authority credit for trying to appease the fans. They've made a canceled, they even talked about the NFL and their controversy with the Super Bowl, saying that there was a cancel NFL Network trend, making fun of their own trend. They're trying to appease the fans by putting Daniel Bryan in a title picture again. And I did like Seth Rollins in that promo saying, "Welcome to where the big boys play," making a WCW reference. A lot of these old references lately on Wall. A Slick reference, American and Ashley Olsen reference, now a Nitro reference. Which is also a cheap plug for the network, which is free this month. Wait a minute, they did a cheap plug for that too. Like to do every fucking week. Well, it's free this month for new subscribers. Once again, since the UK didn't get their free month, since they were supposed to get it in November, never got it till now. So, there you go. At least they played it differently than at the Royal Rumble last year. Like, oh, you get what you want. Well, at least they're trying to appease the fans by at least trying to listen. So we'll see how that goes with the main event. Now on to the next matchup involving Golden Star that's getting another shot against the Ascension. Now another match from SmackDown. Well, SmackDown things happen. No one of my friends turning off during. He hates seeing the same guys wrestle every week. You see him fight on SmackDown. You'll see him fight again on Raw. When you sit through the bad shit, you get some good stuff. Like 2 good matches tonight. Now Golden Stardust got the loss against Ascension last week. They're trying to redeem themselves. But the same result happened. Despite Stone Goldust's best efforts, Stardust came in with a house of fire till the Goldust got in there. Then Goldust got destroyed by the Fallen Man in a 1-2-3 victory for the Ascension, another squash victory. The only good thing about this matchup here is that it teased once again the breakup between Gold and Stardust. Now, I thought they were going to break up about a year ago, until Cody Rhodes became Stardust. Now, the first tease for the breakup happened at the Royal Rumble. And then the second tease happened again tonight. And I think we'll have a breakup match heading up to WrestleMania. Because Goldust, I'm hearing he's retiring soon. So I'd love to see brother against brother at WrestleMania. Hey, remember last time we had real brother versus brother match at the WrestleMania? That was Bret Hart and Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10, which was an epic match. One of the best WrestleMania matches ever. It was a classic technical matchup. I would love to see that happen between Gold and Stardust wrestle at WrestleMania. Not let them wrestle at Fastlane. I want them to have a match at WrestleMania. But probably not on the pre-show. So, there you go. Speaking of that, we saw another whip between another team, which we all knew was coming. Which we'll get to in a second. Put it on to our next scenario with Mr. John Cena, who's got a lot on his plate, ready to take on Rusev at Fastlane. Now, they were hinting at Cena Rusev food for months. I've been hearing they've been planning it for months. You know, the original plan was they would have Rusev come in and attack Cena during his match against last night, which never happened. But they did have a backstage confrontation during the Royal Rumble Fallout show on the network. So, you had, and I've said this, when the rumblings of a Cena Rusev feud came out, I don't want Rusev to lose his first match against Cena. I'd rather see him lose against Ryback at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. Because guys who lost against Cena when they had a lot of momentum on their side, they never gained it back. Or slowly but surely gained it back. Like what happened with Mizdow. You know, he got pinned by Cena, ended up being a jobber and having to wrestle Silly costumes for a while until he got with Miz. And then, you know, he pinned. Even Ryback had lost his way coming back. Bray Wyatt lost his way after losing to Cena. But now he's coming back. Especially tonight against Ziggler. That match was made during this segment. John Cena came out to officially, since we didn't have Raw last week, officially welcome back to Raw the guys he rehired back after the help of Sting 2 weeks ago against Seth Rollins. Ryback, Eric Rowan, and Dolph Ziggler back on Raw for the first time since they got rehired 2 weeks ago. But of course, Stephanie ruined the party by putting all three of these guys in matches tonight. The first of which was Ryback taking on Luke Harper. Now, I would love to have seen Ryback and Rusev because we would see Eric Rowan take on Rusev later on in the evening. But they'll probably save that for later. Hopefully, Ryback can get his momentum back. Decent little matchup between both these guys who have vicious clotheslines. You know, Ryback with the meat hook clothesline, and of course, Luke Harper with his lariat. Decent little matchup here. Luke Harper looked very good in the matchup, and so did Ryback. Fun little matchup with Ryback coming in with a big offense, and of course, the big nasty moves. Setting up the meat hook a few times until Harper would come in with a big nasty kick, blocking the meat hook for the first time. But then he being Ryback, would eventually nail the meat hook, set up the shell shock, and the 1-2-3 victory for Ryback. He got fed. He got fed a big dose, a helping, should I say, of Luke Harper. And a decent little fun matchup here. We'll see if these guys, this could be a start of an interesting feud if they would fight again in the future. Now on to another matchup here. We have Jimmy Uso taking on Cesaro. Now last week on SmackDown Live, if I am correct, we saw Tyson Kidd take on Jey Uso. And if I was also correct, Tyson Kidd won that match. And yay, they got rid of animals! Yeah, I've said that for the last couple weeks. They need to get rid of animals to give themselves legitimacy. They did get rid of animals, yay. In my mind, it deserves a title shot, especially after tonight. Really interesting matchup between Jimmy and Cesaro. Cesaro looked really good tonight. Did the swing and all that good stuff. He did all of his big moves, and so did Jimmy Uso with a flying Uso on top of Cesaro and also Tyson Kidd, who was at ringside along with Jey at ringside, along with Naomi. the real-life wife of Jimmy, of course. So there you go with that. Like I said, fun little matchup with these two guys. Ending up with, of course, the big nasty kicks from the Uso. It's setting up for the big frog splash. But Cesaro got back up, and as Jimmy was in midair, he got caught in midair with an uppercut from Cesaro, which led to a 1-2-3 victory for Cesaro, with him and Tyson Kidd both pinning one member of the Tag Team Champions. I've been saying this ever since they won the pre-show match at the Royal Rumble last week against the New Day. I thought Essential were on their way to be the next #1 contenders. But since the booking's bad, being put up against a pedestal, comparing themselves to other tag teams and dissing older teams, I think Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are the next #1 contenders. And in my mind, the next tag team champions. I love the Usos and all, but I think Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are great foils for them. They've been winning a lot, and they are a great tag team, great double team work. Real, like, they're like a throwback. You know, the throwback to like the Brain Busters or any of those great athletic tag teams. And heel tag teams at that too. So it should be a great combination. And I hope they get the match at Fastlane or even better, WrestleMania. We'll see how that goes. Now on to our next matchup. The best match of the night. One of the best two matches of the night. The other match, one of the three matches that Stephanie made against the three guys who got rehired by John Cena 2 weeks ago. Bray Wyatt against Dolph Ziggler. When this match was made, I was like, oh man, this is going to be good. Two young guys who are very athletic and very talented would put on a good match. Boy, oh boy, was it a good match. Really, really good. Very exciting. There were some great spots in the matchup, especially the big spot that everyone's going to be talking about. Kind of like the big spots in the Super Bowl that everyone's still talking about after over a day. Was the big vertical suplex off the middle rope. Bray Wyatt had Dolph Ziggler put upon the middle rope. And he took him off the middle rope and gave him a nasty vertical suplex on the floor. And that landing, oh my God. That landing was hard hitting. I was like, oh my God. That impact, it looked like Dolph Ziggler was going to be carried out of the match. But despite being taken out by that vertical suplex, Dolph never gave up. Kind of using his former Team Cena tag team partner's philosophy of never giving up. Dolph Ziggler never gave up in a very fun, very close matchup. Some really good action, really good spots besides that big suplex move. And it was just a great matchup. And Bray Wyatt, he's on his way back. I said it earlier that after he lost to Cena, he lost his way a little bit. He lost his momentum. Now he's slowly regaining it. He had a decent feud against Dean Ambrose. He had a decent showing in the Royal Rumble, even though I think Daniel Bryan should have had a better decent showing in the Royal Rumble. But still, Bray Wyatt's looking good after the Rumble right now. You know, he looked really good in the Rumble. He lasted the most, 45 minutes or so. Coming in number 5, eliminating a lot of people. And then tonight, he proved that he should be pushed a lot more, and he had a great match against Ziggler. And why Dolph Ziggler should wrestle Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. We'll see if that happens, though, after tonight. Anyway, great back and forth matchup. It was very intense, and the crowd was saying this is awesome. Decent crowd in Denver tonight. It wasn't like the fanboy, adult, hardcore fans like at Philly or Hartford the last couple of weeks. Now we got like the safe, kid-friendly WWE crowd again. But still, that doesn't mean we can still have a good crowd out of it, which we did. Did a good crowd out of it, especially during this matchup. Very fun matchup, which ended up being Bray Wyatt trying to deliver to Sister Abigail, and then Dolph Ziggler would come back with his big moves. He came with the Famouser. He nailed the Famouser, but then Bray Wyatt got way back up. Bam! Nailed the Sister Abigail, jumping right back up from the Famouser in the 1-2-3 victory for Bray Wyatt in a fun matchup. He looked really good. So did Dolph. Like, both guys looked really good. And the crowd applauded after the match, which was well deserved. It was a very fun, very exciting matchup. I knew it was going to be a great match when it was booked, and boy, oh boy, didn't live up to the expectations. Very fun match with these two young studs. I hope they rest. Like in this day and age where everyone's sick of the same guys wrestling every week, I'd love to see these guys wrestle again. Maybe on a pay-per-view one day. Maybe not soon, but maybe sooner than later, but who knows. But great fun match between these two guys, and it was a great ending. As great as the ending of the Super Bowl. There you go with that great matchup between Dolph and Bray. Now on to our next situation. Paige against Alicia Fox. It was official tonight that Paige will be taking on Nikki Bella for the WWE Divas Championship. And looking at Nikki, who was in commentating with Brie, still begs the question. They haven't really explained still how Brie decided to team up with Nikki again after being forced to be her personal assistant. They had no specific storyline reason. They just had her kiss AJ at Survivor Series, cost her the title, and team back with her sister Nikki without any pure explanation. Still waiting for that. Inconsistencies, WWE. Inconsistencies. You have to call you out for that. Anyway. Thank you for your Paige, who is, like I said, getting the next title shot against Nikki. Taking on Alicia Fox. An okay, typical Divas match here. There was a couple little botchy moves. She even got in the face of the Bellas a couple times. But of course, Paige would come back after Alicia Fox would come up distractions. With Paige coming back with her big moves and a 1-2-3 victory for Paige. Defeating Alicia Fox, but she wouldn't get the last word as she was facing off against the Bella Twins at ringside. Alicia Fox would come back and attack her, setting up the Bellas to come back in the ring and beat the crap out of Paige following the attack from Alicia Fox post-match. So there you go. We'll see how this fails out at the pay-per-view. Now on to our next matchup. Miz taking on Sin Cara with Damian I think we can call him Damian Sandow again almost soon. Because I think his relationship with Miz is going to an end. We've been seeing the seeds planted since the Royal Rumble. And now more seeds were planted tonight as Sandow is taking the spotlight and using that as using in a storyline. The fact that Miz is getting jealous of Mizdow, getting more cheers, getting more applause, and getting more recognition. Like we saw in a backstage segment about Mizdow being asked for an autograph and not Miz, saying that you're supposed to be the stunt double, Sandow. You're not being a good one. You're fired. As a stunt double, that is, you have to be my personal assistant. Despite being, some would say, demoted to personal assistant, Sandow still acted like a stunt double, despite Miz's attitude to not do so. And Miz tried his best to be the biggest douche that he always has been. Like, love or hate Miz, he's an okay athlete. Coming from the reality world, you know, he had to take his qualms, you know, pay his dues, and end up being champion. Love or hate him. You know, you have to at least applaud him for at least putting on a decent effort and being the most hateable douche that you can imagine. And he plays it pretty well. That's why he's an actor. And he's going to be on Science soon. No cheap plug. Anyway, cheap plug my channel all the time. So WWE does it to their show. I'm cheap plugging them and cheap plugging me. Should stop this cheap plugging. Anyway, Miz had some good effort. There he has some good offense against Sin Cara, who was one half of the former NXT Tag Team Champions, Lucha Dragons. I was thinking bring his partner in, Kalisto, and trying to regain himself because he looked really good in NXT with the Lucha Dragons, who are no longer the Tag Team Champions. Eventually get a rematch with Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake on the best wrestling show on television, NXT. Another cheap plug. Dang, I stop this cheap plugging. I just love it sometimes. No wonder why Triple H gets a kick out of cheap plugging the network every fucking week. No wonder why he does it. Anyway, back to the show at hand. Despite Miz's best efforts to wind down Sin Cara, the endless distractions of Mizdow, being disappointed and still being a stunt double, got the Miz to nowhere as Sandow took his sunglasses off, acting like the Miz again. Miz got angry and he got distracted for a second. And with the distraction, Sin Cara capitalized with the 1-2-3 victory roll-up. And Miz chastised Sandow after the match. Like I said, the breakup is happening. Finally, you know, two tag teams we've been knowing we're headed towards a breakup are finally building more blocks to that breakup eventually happening. See, finally, Sandow turned on Miz, and I hope that God he does soon. He needs to do that because Miz has been chastising him. We were just waiting for that moment. Waiting for that great moment to see Sandow turn on Miz. And see Stardust turn on Goldust. Those seeds are being planted. We'll see how they be executed in the next couple of weeks to come. And then we would have a segment, Bray Wyatt delivering another great promo after a great match. So there you go with that. Now on to our next little affair with Rusev taking on Eric Rowan. None more than kind of a squash match. Despite Rowan's best efforts to take down the Big Muscle, the match never really started. As Rusev came out from the get-go without the opening bell, just attacked on Rowan until setting him up for the accolade. Like I said, not really a match. It was more like a segment as Lana would pause a promo about Rusev being so dominant and getting ready for his match against John Cena at Fastlane. And then they had the flag spot after that, and apparently the flag was stuck. I didn't see that when I saw it, but apparently the fans were cheering the flag being stuck, and then the Rusev would grab the other flag that was on the pole and then wave that one. Now on to another great matchup besides Bray Wyatt against Dolph Ziggler. Main event. And it was still fun even with the interference, which we see a lot in WWE these days. Seth Rollins against Daniel Bryan, of course, like I said earlier, the winner of this match would take on Roman Reigns at Fastlane to face off to be the number one contender at WrestleMania 31. So, there you go with that. Fun little matchup. D-Bar had a good match against Kane on Thursday, and he had a good match against Rollins tonight. Some great action, great back and forth action between these guys. With some fun little spots. Like I said, we'll see what goes down at the Fastlane pay-per-view, especially knowing who won. Now, I thought Randy Orton was going to show up. Early tonight, Seth Rollins was backstage saying that Randy Orton wasn't the guy. I was like, maybe they're alluding to Randy Orton coming back tonight. It looked that way with the interference that was going on with JH's security getting involved and Big Show getting involved. And it goes D-Bar with his never say die attitude. Looked really good. So did Seth Rollins. He deserves to be at least mentioned for another title shot, especially after this great performance at the Royal Rumble, where he finally lived up to the hype of being the future of WWE. And he proved it again tonight in a great match against D-Bar, the man that the fans want to see once again reign as champion. Sorry, woman. Pardon the pun. So anyway, we've been seeing the numerous interference from JH's security and Big Show trying to come in. It didn't really matter. There's some good spots with D-Bar doing a flying move, and this is interference. He did a flying move over the top rope, over the middle rope, onto JH's security and Seth Rollins at ringside, and tossed him over the announce table. The momentum was so fast. His momentum took the bodies of Noble, Mercury, and Rollins over the announce table. That was kind of a funny little spot there. And of course, big kicks. And even had a yes lock at one point. But then Rollins got straight to the rope. And that's when Big Show was near the ring. I thought Big Show was going to help pull Rollins' feet to that middle rope to get the rope break. But he never touched the rope. He never touched Rollins' feet. And then Roman Reigns would come out for revenge. It wasn't Randy Orton who came out. It was Roman Reigns that came out, gave a big spear to Big Show, big spear to Mercury. And then Rollins Noble was cashing in, trying to cash in money in the big briefcase, attacking Bryan with the referee distracted amidst all of this. But then Rollins would get a Superman punch. Daniel Bryan would take out Jamie Noble. And then the big flying knee to Seth Rollins and the 1, 2, 3 victory for Daniel Bryan. In a very fun match against Rollins. The best second best match of the night besides Mr. Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler. So let's get this straight here. This is going to be interesting here. And it was a good wall tonight, by the way. Good wall, some good action there. And great build-up, decent build-up for Fastlane, which some people call a throwaway pay-per-view with no elimination chamber. But now it gets more intriguing with Sting appearing and the fact that WrestleMania title picture may kind of change here. With Daniel Bryan, the guy that the fans want to see as champ again, taking on the guy that they don't particularly like to be forced as the guy, playing the Batista role from last year. Hate to say that. Roman Reigns. Now, I still think they're still going to try to, at least, this is WWE's way of saying, yay, fans, we're going to give you Daniel Bryan to get another title shot at WrestleMania. But he's still going to lose, and we're still going to have Roman Reigns. Because, you know, at least it gives Roman Reigns a roadblock to get through. You know what I mean? Because they needed something to add more intrigue in Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? Like he's being pushed as a hand-picked guy, a forced guy. He needs some roadblocks. He needs to fight for a shot. To prove to the fans he's not just some hand-picked guy, you know? Or a guy being forced down your throats. He needs to fight for that shot. And that's exactly what he's going to do against the guy that the fans want. And that's why I think he should turn heel. Like Batista was kind of forced to turn heel after the fans booing. I would not be surprised if Roman Reigns does turn heel. It's like, you want Daniel Bryan instead of me? Fuck you. You know? I would not be surprised if that happens. But knowing Roman's limited mic skills, who knows how he's going to get across as a heel. So there you go with that. Bryan Reigns at Fastlane with the title shot on the line. But I still think Rollins will still get involved because if Roman Reigns ends up defeating Daniel Bryan, pissing the fans off a lot. Still, once again, I still think Rollins will still cash in Money in the Bank if he ends up being there along with Reigns at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? If Reigns ends up beating Daniel Bryan, still ends up at the WrestleMania main event against Brock Lesnar, at least he has a fight to keep the shot. That's when Rollins can cash in. So there you go. But I think Rollins is going to be the main event one day. So there you go. Building blocks for the fast lane. We got Bryan Reigns, title shot on the line. We got John Cena Rusev. The tease for WrestleMania 31 with Sting being called up by Triple H. Nikki Bella taking on Paige for the Divas Championship. Maybe a possible IC title match between Dolph Ziggler, not Dolph Ziggler, who I think should get an IC title shot soon, with Bad News Barrett against Dean Ambrose, and also possibly a technical title shot for Cesaro and Tyson Kidd against the Usos at Fastlane as well. We'll probably get those matches added in the next couple of weeks to come as we head towards Fastlane on the 22nd of this month. And that is it for my Raw review tonight. Thank you very much for watching. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. See you later. Yeah.